Hello and welcome to Microsoft Hates Greg. My name is Greg Deckler, and today we're going to be talking once again about user-defined functions. Um, and I'm going to get into it a little bit or whatever, but I'm of the opinion that user-defined functions are interesting, but they're not game-changing. And there's a lot of MVPs that are like, oh my God, these things are the greatest game-changing thing ever to happen to DAX. And maybe it's just because, they've been hyped for so damn long. I feel like I've been hearing about these stupid things for like a year or 2 years now that they're coming, they're coming. Um, and they've been so overhyped that when you actually get your hands on them, that they're kind of limited, right? There's a lot of limitations to them. And if you want to see the limitations much more than I'm going to cover it in this video, you can check out my UDF deep dive I did a few days ago. Um, so so I want to talk about this game-changing thing, and I think it becomes I think when us technical folks we get our hands on something cool, like we want to we get all excited or whatever. Like I think you'll see that in that deep dive video when I finally figure out how to use column references, which is a cool feature. I get kind of excited about that, and I think maybe that's what some of these people are falling into the trap of. But because they're kind of cool, right? User-defined functions, but if you take a step back from the hype, right, and really take an objective look at it, they're interesting, but I don't think that you could consider them game changing, right? And I'll tell you what I mean by this. We'll get into it here. So, for example, if you think about what UDFs are, they're a way to create repeatable DAX code that you can parameterize. Okay, that's what a UDF is. Now, if you think about this, right, we already have this to a degree, right? We have measures, right? And you can create a var in a measure that takes the max of a column, right? A column value. And if you put that measure into a table where that max column value changes for each row, that's essentially a parameter that you've passed into the measure via context, right? We also have things like calculation groups, right? Where you can, in the measure that is the parameter that's passed in, and then the calculation group operates across that measure. And that measure it could be sales, it could be cost, it could be profit. You can plug whatever measure you want to into that calculation group, and it will repeat the DAX calculations with that measure, right? Repeatable. So repeatable DAX code that is parameterized, we already have that, okay? Now I understand like user-defined functions are slightly different, right? But in terms of the ability to parameterize and have repeatable DAX code, we already have two different ways of doing that already, right? With measures and with calculation groups. So from that perspective, okay, it adds some ways to have repeatable DAX code with parameters, right? Now, this is where the interesting thing about this is, when you say game changing, right? Well, how many people is this really going to affect? Like, how many semantic models can really benefit from user defined functions, right? It's certainly not 100% of them, okay? Right? So, I mean, so first off, you start thinking about, well, who's going to use UDFs to begin with? Well, it's going to be report authors, which are probably about 20% of the people that use Power BI, could be even less. Um, so it's already down. You're already down to 20% of the users of Power BI are even going to care about a UDF. Okay. Then you think about these report authors and like how many of them are going to end up with a semantic model where a UDF would be, useful to them. Okay. Where they couldn't solve the problem using a measure or using a calculation group. Okay. And you're probably down to another 20%, right? So now you're down to at least 4%. And I would say I would put the number even smaller than that, like 2%, right? Of would be my best guess as far as who's going to actually use user-defined functions out of the entire, was it 9 billion people that supposedly use Power BI, right? Or whatever that number is, 9 million, 9 billion. I don't know what it is, but you're talking about 2%, right? So first off, how can something be game changing if it only affects like 2% of the population to begin with, right? This is where my head goes with this. Um, and then it's probably even less than that because think about it. I mean, okay, let's say that you have it here, right? You're creating a measure, right? So I'm going to create a measure here. And this measure is going to do something like I need to take A minus B and divide it by A, right? Classic, create a percentage. And then I also have in this data model, I have B minus C divided by C. And then I have E minus F divided by F, right? So I'm doing the same calculation, right? Now, am I going to, like, I can create this, I can say, divide and then blah, and then whatever I want to do here, right? Now, what I'm going to do, if I need to do this 3 times, is I'm going to write the measure, right? I'm going to hit Control A, Control C. I'm going to hit enter, and then I'm going to create a new measure, right? I'm going to create a new measure. I'm going to paste that in and change it from measure 2 to measure 3 or whatever it happens. But you're just going to do that, and it's going to take you 30 seconds to do it, right? Right? That's all it's going to take. Or am I going to interrupt like my workflow, switch to another tab, completely another tab, try to remember like this weird freaking syntax that they've got here, like define, and I'm sorry it's not zoomed in, but I can't zoom and type at the same time. Define function, right? And then call it some function, some func, and then I have to do this, and then I have to write what my parameter name is. Yeah, some function. I guess it didn't like, I don't know. Well, anyway, param, and then numeric. Why isn't see it? It's not even coming up in terms of what did I do wrong? Define function. Oh, I forgot my equals. See, that's how easy it is to like. Oh, so define function some func equals, and now I can do this. And now param, let's say underscore param1 is numeric, and I need 2 of these. So I need to say, oh, param2 numeric, right? And then I need to end this and then do this funky little thing here, and then write my divide, DAX code, blah, 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 and then update my model with changes. And then I still have to go back and create those 3 measures where I call this custom function, right? So have I saved myself any time doing it this way, right? So this is why I say that there's so few, like, and now for the semantic models that like have like maybe you've got 50 of these things that you have to have in the semantic model, right? Sure, for that semantic model, right? This is very helpful, right? To have being able to do something like this. Okay, but for the vast majority of semantic models that are out there, is anybody going to care to have to interrupt their entire workflow of how they do stuff and then go back and then still have to create the measures? So you're just creating more work for yourself, essentially, right? How many people are really going to do that in the normal course of developing something in Power BI? It's a very, very small percentage of people, I feel, that would ever need this functionality, right? Which is probably why we've survived perfectly okay for the last decade without it. Now, do I geek out on this stuff and think it's cool? Absolutely. I think it's cool. I think it's interesting. Like I can have things that return tables now, right? And which I wish they would just implement that in measures, but whatever. They never went that route. It seems like it'd be so much easier, especially from a workflow perspective and everything, if they allowed measures to return tables instead of just scalars, right? But so take it as a win. We can do that now with these functions. If I can go into this other tab and remember the syntax for all of this stuff, right? So, okay, great. And we can do column references, which I also think is pretty cool. But there's, again, if you want all the limitations on it, but again, I think content creators and MVPs and that, they need to be more responsible when they're throwing around words like game changing and things like that. I just feel like it's thrown around too much. This benefits such a small amount of semantic models that are out there. It's probably way less than 1%, more than likely, that would even benefit from UDFs to begin with. And it's certainly, there's so many cases where it just adds overhead and time, time sink and that sort of stuff that you wouldn't otherwise bother with. So that's why I don't think they're game changing. And you are free to disagree with me. But there it is. I've laid out my case. So that is all I had for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.